What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more ambient, and we're going to listen to another tune by Jon Mark. Indeed, it's been far too long since I've reacted to a Jon Mark track. We're going to jump to a different album of his, one I've never heard, though I'm very excited about. We're going to listen to Land of Merlin, obviously built around Arthurian legend, and maybe Merlin specifically. But yeah, this makes reference to a number of the main narrative beats. We have Land of Merlin starts it, Tintagel, the birth of Arthur, the child grows, sorry, crows, Peter Pan. But yeah, the child grows, birth, or Merlin and the unicorn, the dream of Arthur. So there's like major beats within the narrative, and it sort of ends with farewell to childhood and then the vision. So it seems to be up until the more dramatic and, let's say, complicated emotional parts of the story, the early origin legend of Arthur and Merlin. So yeah, I'm excited for this. This is 1990, what is it? 1992. It's on Celestial Harmonies Records. I don't know if you can see it well, but we have a shot of Mr. Mark there in the corner. And let's see, he almost always, it seems to me, or the ones that I've encountered, will talk about what the album's about. So okay, here we go. The legends surrounding King Arthur are multitudinous, well used. In fact, much discussion over the years has questioned his very existence. Some have hypothesized he was no more than an archetypal image, fostered by many ancient legends and the human need for a patriarchal hero. Nevertheless, the legends and stories of King Arthur fulfill in the human spirit the desire to be greater than we are, to become something more, as if destiny plays a part in every child's birth. Arthur, if he existed at all, lives most of all in ourselves, in our unconscious desire to be a force for good, to be a kind and gentle king, to suffer the pains of mortal life, but to leave it better than we found it. There's like multiple more paragraphs, so I feel like that's such a beautiful thing. I don't even want to necessarily say any more, although he does talk about his research here. In researching Arthur, I was faced with enormous amounts of literary work from English to French and American, novels, poems, suppositions, and academic research. Lucas caused some problems over here. She's probably going to pull everything down. To have attempted the full story of Arthur would surely have taken a lifetime, but I've discovered T.H. White's wonderful classic, The Once Future King. I was struck by the fact that my emotional involvement with Arthur's story, with him as a child, and with England as he would have seen it in that time, his early meeting and journeys, unaware of his future destiny, in the same way that our potentials lie quietly waiting for us to bring them to life. So the album is my attempt to describe England and the feelings of a child growing to maturity. It's like that was already clear just from looking at the track list. You fucking genius. Cornwall, the most westerly part of the British Isles, has from time immemorial been known as the Land of Merlin, being both the birthplace of Arthur, the once and future king, and home to stories of King Mark, Tristan, and what is it, Iside? I'm not sure how you say that word. And the Knights of the Round Table. I was born in Falmouth at the mouth of the River Fall, where it flows into the Atlantic Ocean. Much of my childhood was spent traveling with my godparents through the magnificent land of Cornwall, from Truro to Land's End, from Boscatel across Bodmin Moor to Tintagel. These journeys have remained powerful reminders of my Celtic roots throughout my adult life, and now suddenly a Celtic story, that makes more sense. She's going to pull everything down, she really is. Please don't do it at this point, because I really hate to have to like redo this. In any case, in my musical story, I have taken poetic license in order to see this past time and land through a child's eyes, and I hope that you, the listener, can find in this work an ancient memory of a distant time, the birth, childhood, and youth of Arthur, the once and future king. Jon Mark, December 1991, from Wellington, New Zealand. Well, shout out to you, the late Jon Mark. Once again, he seems to be a very, like, considerate person when it came to his compositions. He wasn't just trying to make something that sounded cool, but he wanted it to have substance, background, and meaning on multiple levels. So big ups to him. Let's listen to the first track, which is the title track, Land of Merlin, which we now know, the west of England, Cornwall. So yeah, let's get it. This is Jon Mark, Land of Merlin, from the album of the same name, 1992. it's funny. It made me think a few things. It made me think it felt like a slower paced world. It felt like an exciting and a new sort of feeling. The idea of being a kid and you're sort of figuring things out and having, your parents or other people tell you, what things are. It felt like that, looking out into the world and, everything is kind of new and exciting. There were moments where it was giving me melodic reminders of the Standing Stones of Callanish, which, again,